Touchline is the show. Welcome back to the program. Fanzone is the segment where I seek to discuss international football with regards to fixtures coming up. And of course, Eric Aganya is joining us. He's been here before. And Shadrack Serem for the first time. Shadrack, karibu.
Asante sana kwa mwaliko.
Sasa, Eriko, Champions League final getting moved from Russia to Paris. Advantage to PSG because as we speak right now, they're still taking part in the Champions League. And in case they get onto the final, they will be playing at home.
Yeah, if they make it to the final. If they make it to the final, because we still have a long way to go. They have to play a return leg against Madrid, and then they still have two other games in the knockout stages. But if they make it to the final, then advantage to them, because most of the fans will be there. They'll be playing at home. They don't have to travel. Also traveling, the weather and everything affects the form of the team sometimes. So should they make it to the final, then they'll have an advantage.
Shadrack, what do you think about the change of venue? Because as we speak today, there is invasion of Russia in the territories of Ukraine, which has caused and led to UEFA deciding that the venue for the final has to be changed to Paris. Does this change the mood of the teams currently in Champions League?
Yeah, because once you are at the home ground now, italeta hiyo psyche ya game. Now you'll find the PSG going to Real Madrid, wataenda kuwin hapo 2-1, maybe because the away goal ilitolewa, yeah? So away goal was scrubbed away, so it'll give them advantage. Kushinda huko Madrid, italeta psyche kwa team. And again, we are coming home. The Champions League is at home. So I think this is their chance to win the Champions League.
And PSG, the French Moneybacks, won the first leg against Real Madrid, right?
1-0, courtesy of Kylian Mbappe, last minute goal.
Lionel Messi lost a penalty.
Yes. He's not in form. He's not. If you look at since the time he moved to PSG, he's not done well. He scored, I think, in the Champions League he has 2 goals. In the league, he has another 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah.
So he's never picked up, and this, I think, it gives Kylian an opportunity to showcase what he's capable of. Bearing in mind there is also a lot of speculation about his next move, whether he'll still be in PSG or he'll be moving to Real Madrid, because Real Madrid are really interested in him. So I think this will be another game for him to show Real Madrid what he's capable of, what they'll be buying if they get hold of him. Because in the first leg, you look at the game against Real Madrid in the first leg, Mbappe, I think he reminded me of the original Ronaldo.
Yes.
The fat boy. Remember the step over, change of pace, and a goal.
Finish.
Out of nothing. Nobody expected that goal to come. And he's a rising star.
Tottenham coach Antonio Conte saying that he's not under pressure to, resign or getting fired because of his mixture of results. Because over the weekend, I don't know whether it was a surprise outcome. He beat Manchester City contrary to a lot of people's expectations. But during the midweek clash, losing against Burnley. And he's saying that, he has spoken to Daniel Levy, Tottenham chairman, and the man knows what he means being with Tottenham and the plans he has for the club.
I think there have been managers who've been there before, like Mourinho, had the same belief.
Pochettino.
We had Pochettino, who actually was the best Tottenham manager they have had in the recent history, having pushed the team up to the finals of Champions League at one given time. But what I think the biggest problem with Conte is that he's blowing hot and cold.
Yes.
You don't beat Man.
Today he wins, tomorrow he loses.
Yes.
Another day he draw.
You can see he's struggling against teams that are compact, teams that close down the game.
Yes.
Look at Burnley, they close down the game. They're playing for that 1-0. So they're playing the same system with him. He struggles. When he was playing against Man City will open up the game. Man City will come to you. Burnley will not come to you. We'll wait for you to come and hit you on a long ball, on a counter. That's the same tactics Conte uses. He'll wait, he'll sit back. Look at the game against Man City. He was defending with 7 players. Sitting back, relying on the pace of Jim Sung-min and Harry Kane. When they hit that counter, then he scores. But you see, that cannot last forever. You have to have a system of play. You look at Man City has a system of play. Whether they are under pressure, whether they are not conceding pressure, the system remains the same. Look at Liverpool, they have a system of play. But him, he's a tactician, he wants to read the game. Sometimes you misread the game and you get found out. He was found out by Burnley. You never know next who will find him out.
At some point when Manchester United were recording poor results, Antonio Conte, because he was clubless, he was unattached, he was being linked to taking over the team. But Tottenham leapfrogged Man United from acquiring his services, and they really signed him, and pundits tipped him for greatness with Tottenham. But it hasn't been realized yet. Is it because, can you attribute it to lack of world-class players at Tottenham?
Yes, that's the major reason. It lacks the quality of the fullbacks. Because if you see the form of Antonio Conte in Inter Milan and Antonio Conte in Chelsea, he had a quality fullbacks. He had Akina Marcos Alonso who could attack and score. He used a lot of fullbacks during Chelsea time. That he ended up winning Champions League and the League Cup. I think the League Cup, FA?
The Premier League.
The Premier League, FA, and the Champions League with a quality fullback. At Tottenham, he lacks the quality fullbacks. Today we have Reguilon. Tomorrow he's injured. Who will you replace with? The bench of Antonio Conte is very weak. It's very weak as right now. And also in the midfield, you tend to see he signed Bentancur and Kulusevski, who contributed so much during the Manchester City game. But when it comes to Burnley will wait for you, won't attack you, but will attack you with the long balls. Now that's the problem comes in. The Kulusevski and Bentancur were not involved in the game. Why? Burnley took the long balls and attacked you, punished you with the long ball. The likes of, what's the name of this striker?
Hurricane.
No, Burnley striker. Burnley they have a tall striker. They signed him recently. He's not famous. They use them to punish several Premier League clubs. And secondly, Antonio Conte knows Premier League. Premier League is a game. Today you win, tomorrow you lose.
So it's a game of mixed results.
Yes.
For Antonio Conte in charge of Tottenham since his arrival. Let's speak about what happened in midweek as far as Champions League is concerned. Your teams scrapped through to score a late equalizer and revive their chances of qualifying to the next stage. Man United against Atletico Madrid. But what is the even pressing that we heard about this caretaker manager that I haven't seen with United?
I've seen a lot of improvement. It depends on how you look at it. Because you look at him, look at his games. He's only lost one game since he came in. The kind of players that you have, are they capable of playing that system? If you look at the game against Atletico, he wasn't expecting Atletico to come off the blocks. We've known Atletico to hold back and wait to hit you on the counter. Look at the first 10 minutes of that game. Atletico were on the first attack, and they got their goal within 7 minutes. Felix had already scored. So if you look at that game, Manchester United in the first half, they weren't very well. But when they came back in the second half, you could see a very big improvement in terms of possession, in terms of creating chances. The problem now comes in the quality of players that Manchester United has. That gegenpress requires a striker who is in his younger days. And if you look at when we had Cristiano on the field as a lone striker, we didn't create any chance because he's not able to make the runs he used to make 10 years ago. But look at second half when Elanga was brought in. One chance, one goal. Because when you're pressing, when Liverpool attacks, it attacks with all the cylinders and everything that they've got. And Man is not going to waste that. That is what similar style of play. So you require players who have to be physically fit and also young to go up and down, up and down, up and down. It will take some time. Unfortunately, he only has 6 months.
And they're almost elapsing.
And that's the most unfortunate situation, that we are going to have another coach coming in. The problem is now you have another coach who is coming in with a different approach, then you mess up the whole team again.
The
But if we can
transition.
have a coach who can still press, the likes of Pochettino plays pressing football, Eric Ten Hag plays pressing football.
So you as a Man United supporter, would you prefer Ralf Rangnick stint at United to be extended and officially, formalized, or Eric Ten Hag can be brought on board?
Contrary to many people's opinion, I would go for him being given more time to instill that into them. Look at, I listened to him during the press conference, and he was saying that the players had taken advantage of Solskjaer's softness. So there was indiscipline in the squad. They were very comfortable in a comfort zone. So now they're being pushed. When you're being pushed, there's a system. This is a coach who was a system. And if we are bringing in Eric Ten Hag, then can we have Ralph remaining in maybe advisory capacity or a football director,
yes,
or something like that, so that together they can have a philosophy. Manchester United was known to have a philosophy that you play football by this.
They are associated with a certain style of play.
Look at, since Ferguson left, we've had a clash of that. Van Gaal had a style of play. Moyes, we don't really know what he was doing. You come to Mourinho, was a tactician. He wants to read the opponent and win games, but there was no clear style of play. This is a coach who has a style of play. Any coach who has a style of play, it takes time. Klopp took around 3 years to win first silverware, having signed more than 30 players. So you bring in the right players, you bring in the right environment, and you have time. Look at Man City when Pep came in. The first season, he didn't win anything. The second season, I think he won the Carabao Cup or something. The third season is when he won the Premier League. So you need time if you have a philosophy.
So ahead of return legs for UEFA Champions League, because 8 teams that are in the last 16 have already played their first legs, whom are we seeing making it through from this particular stage to quarterfinal?
For me, I'll go with Atletico. Because right now, the performance of Atletico and Antonio, their coach,
Diego
Simeone, is very strict. If you find Diego Simeone, you don't perform, you sit on the bench. If you don't perform at the training,
that's why Luis Suarez was not started.
Luis Suarez, some of indiscipline cases you find in Luis Suarez in the training session, that tends to take him to the bench. Antonio Simeone is always strict coach. Other than, if you come to Manchester United, the dressing room is not controlled. You tend to see today Cristiano Ronaldo wants this, Bruno Fernandes wants this. You tend to find them pulling themselves up and down.
The coach has not stamped authority.
Yes, that end up Maguire being always on the game. Why? Maguire doesn't perform. For me, I rather go with Lindelof than Maguire. You tend to see Maguire making errors towards
schoolboy mistakes.
Yes, he tend to make schoolboy mistakes, and you have somebody like Lindelof who can perform better than him. When you find having Lindelof and what's the name, Varane, you tend to see a good defensive midfield. Come to Arsenal, check what has happened. We lost Thomas Partey to the African Cup of Nations, and we lost Granit Xhaka towards the red card. We lost 5 good matches. When they came back, we performed. We are now picking up. We are now on the page of winning. You look at the game of Wolverhampton. We conceded the early goal, and we managed to turn over the game within less than 10 minutes. So what happened in Manchester United is they need to stamp authority to lead the team.
Yeah, I agree with you. In the past, we've had cases of indiscipline. We've had cases of dressing room being split.
Yes.
And that is what has been eating Manchester United. But if you look at right now, what Ralph is trying to bring in, that strictness, that it's either my way or you take a walk.
Yes.
And you'll see, I saw, the one thing I like about Ralph is that he's a good reader of the game.
True.
If you look at 3 games that are past, his substitutions are the ones that come to make a difference. The same problem was with Solskjaer. Solskjaer could not read the game. So the timing of the substitution was poor, and sometimes he makes the wrong substitution.
True.
But right now, if you look at it, this weekend, the midweek, he made a substitution, removed Pogba, brought in Matic. Matic stabilized the midfield. So a good reader of the game, and if he's given more time, we look at it. If you go back to what Max had asked about the teams that are going to move into the last stages of the knockout stage, from the past teams that have played, I think people are being caught by surprise. Because if you look at the game against Benfica and Ajax, people expected Ajax to win.
Yes.
Look at the game between Salzburg and Bayern Munich. People expected Bayern Munich to run riot.
Yes.
And they barely survived in that game. They equalized the last minute. So you see, there are no clear-cut favorites. Even the game against Real Madrid and PSG, it can go either way. We don't have clear-cut favorites, whereby we see that maybe Chelsea won 2-0 against Lille. You expect maybe it will
Chelsea
be difficult for Lille to come back into that game. But the Bayern game is still open. The Ajax game is still open.
Salzburg almost caused an upset.
Yes.
Yeah, the Bayern
Because Bayern scored a late equalizer. And that would have made the headlines internationally.
And you see, but as you look at that game, Salzburg lost some good chances. They could have killed
Almost
the game
3 chances.
on.
Yeah,
Earlier
almost
on,
3 chances.
They could have killed the game earlier on. So you see, this time round, we may be in for surprises. The teams that will make it to the next stage.
Like last season, people are talking of favorites for Champions League round in the name of Bayern Munich. This time round, it's not being prominently mentioned. What happened?
Man City scored 5. So Man City already in the next.
Yeah, Man City have progressed
because they pumped.
They have already qualified for
Yeah.
quarters.
I don't think.
And even Liverpool having beaten Inter Milan 2-0 during first leg.
But you look at that game again; it was tight. Liverpool got 2 chances.
2 chances and they punished.
They punished Inter Milan with 2 chances. Inter Milan can be able to come.
PSG Real Madrid is still open, right?
But the mood of transferring the finals to Paris has lifted.
Yes, and motivation
I
to
tend
win
to
so
see.
that they play it at home.
Yes.
And win it at home because they've already.
That would
And
be
also-
prestigious.
Yes.
Messi also wants to his name to be uplifted. If you win Champions League, you tend to be uplifted.
And he's not the one that has done it elsewhere
yeah.
and he's replicated what he did at Barcelona.
I think that is what is giving him more pressure that he's not really performing. That pressure that he was associated that you can only perform when
in Barcelona.
Yes.
Because when he used to go to Argentina, he never used to perform. Now,
So people are saying that he's being sandwiched by the likes of Xavi,
Yes.
Iniesta.
So he was not the engine behind it. Because if you look at him, you compare with him, Cristiano, despite the age and what have you,
He's trying.
done relatively better than him. But again, Cristiano had already lived in England before, so the settling was easier. For Messi, he's never lived out of Spain. So settling in Paris
is a bit problem.
It's a big problem, giving him a lot of problems. So I think we are in for very interesting times ahead.
Marcelo Bielsa, what's happening at Leeds United? When this guy came, people equated him to, the Arsene Wenger, the Sir Alex Ferguson of this world. But, the standards have been dwindling day in, day out. And Leeds United look like, they will be relegated next time, even tomorrow. Because in their previous game against Manchester City, they were thrashed like 6-0.
Yeah.
It was against, I think, Liverpool.
Yes, against Liverpool
beat
during midweek.
6-0. The system that he plays, he cannot play with the kind of players that he has. He has a small squad because Leeds have a small budget. He plays a system whereby you run for 90 minutes. This player will not run for 90 minutes over the weekend and run for another 90 minutes
over the midweek.
In midweek. It won't happen. And you've seen him now, he conceded 4 against Manchester United and came to concede, in 1 week he has conceded
10 goals.
4 against Manchester United, in midweek conceded 6. Why? Because the same players who ran throughout, because his system, the ball, I read something about his training, the ball never goes out. When it goes out, you kick it in. So they run throughout. These players are bound to get tired. And I listened to Klopp saying it was very difficult for him to play that system against Liverpool. Because why? Liverpool they play the long balls, the man to space. So they will create that room.
What happened to Patrick Bamford?
He was a little striker when he joined the league,
Yes.
but now He found the real defenders of the league.
At some point, even England were considering
Calling him
a
for World
call
Cup.
up,
Yes, for World
so
Cup.
that he can help
But-
Harry Kane up
But
front.
he came in. They are playing a system whereby you can't run for 90 minutes.
Calvin Phillips,
Also
Same. He's doing well in the midfield.
in the
But
midfield.
again, he's alone.
And-
Alone. You're going to go against the likes of Jordan
Henderson.
You're going to go against the likes of
So,
Naby Keita.
Naby Keita
You're
and
going to go against the likes
Fabinho.
of Fabinho. You may not be able to stand a chance.
And second, Marcelo Bielsa's squad is full of injuries.
Yeah.
It's full of injuries. You find they have a bench of youth. So you tend to see putting a youth a game of Liverpool to fight with Salah. Salah is more experienced player. He has played with Roma. He has played with Chelsea. Now he's in Liverpool, and he's a goal machine. Salah is a goal machine. Every corner he steps, he must put a stamp.
Yeah.
So you tend to see Marcelo Bielsa's squad is this season they won't make it. I think they will go to championship, then retrain themselves.
because someone who's watched football since that time, a long time ago, understand how Marcelo Bielsa is a good tactician. And when Leeds United were promoted from championship to EPL, everyone looked forward to seeing Marcelo Bielsa. Even the likes of Wayne Rooney, former international, saying that now the big coach is back on the fold.
Yeah. He doesn't.
But
have,
things not
he doesn't have
working his way.
the money to buy more players, especially when he has mentioned about the injuries. His system creates a lot of injuries and fatigue to the players. So you need to refresh the squad. You look at his first season, he did relatively well because
Yes.
he finished in the mid-table. The second season, he's performing poorly, and he's now approaching the relegation zone. When the likes of Newcastle are coming up, he's going down. So he may go down because now he has no room to reinforce his squad. And when the big teams smell blood, they hit you. Manchester United hit him, Liverpool hit him.
Today they are
And then
hitting.
when you have those fixtures, you have Manchester United over the weekend, and then
Liverpool-
midweek you have Liverpool,
then
and then you have
Tottenham.
Tottenham again. You see, those are big games because Tottenham will hit him today.
Wow, let's speak about Carabao Cup final set for tomorrow. Chelsea up against Liverpool. Where are you putting your money, Shadrach?
Liverpool.
Why Liverpool?
One, Liverpool, they have good defense, and they have signed a little striker,
So when you talk of
Diaz.
good defense, Chelsea too has good defense. In the 37-year-old, the man they signed from Paris
Thiago
Saint-Germain
Silva.
has been doing exceptionally well. Better than the youngsters.
But you also tend to see Van Dijk. Having Van Dijk and Matip, having Van Dijk and Gomez, having Van Dijk and Kone. Is it Kone? It's a strong defense. When one injured, you replace, and they perform exactly what it happened. Fullback, the two fullback, Robertson and Arnold, they have rested. They didn't play they played few minutes on Marcelo Bielsa's game against Leeds. Now today they will play against Chelsea. I tend to see they will perform, and they will beat Chelsea 2-1.
How resourceful is Thiago Silva? They have defender and aging defender. How resourceful will he?
He's aging like fine wine, and he's improving as time goes by. And I think the best thing that ever happened to him is that Tuchel knows how to use him, and he's bringing in the experience. One advantage with Thiago Silva, he doesn't do the donkey work. He has very good organizational skills, so he'll always organize his stopper to do most of the donkey work, marshal the defense properly, so he's left to pick the loose balls. And then he's very good in air, so he will defend the corners very well. And then when they are attacking the set pieces, he'll be there to cause havoc to the opponent's defense. I would like to disagree with him a little bit when it comes to now who wins the Carabao. I want to believe Chelsea stand a better chance. Look at how many finals have Chelsea played under Tuchel. How many have they lost?
They rarely lose a final.
Exactly. This guy has come up with a way to set his team to win. He won against the Champions League against Manchester City, and everybody was looking at Manchester City being a better team. He won the other day the World Club final the other day
Against
Palmeiras, I think, from South America. He has a way in which he sets up his team, and he's doing that without a recognized striker, without his strikers firing the cylinders. Lukaku sometimes is not performing, and then advantage that he has the goals coming in from from the midfield. He's talked about Robertson as a wing back on this side, and the other wing back. They will not come up much because you have Pulisic, who has the pace, and we have Kai Havertz, we have Ziyech, who have the pace. So I'm looking at a scenario whereby Tuchel will set up Pulisic to take advantage of Robertson coming up. When you come up, put the ball there. And Tuchel has a way in which he can set up his team to absorb the pressure and wait for you on the counter. However, he will face a lot of problems from Sadio Mane and Mo Salah because they are on form and they are doing great things. So it will be an interesting game to watch. But I put my money on Chelsea.
Chelsea, Liverpool.
But I tend to see they'll punish those spaces leaving behind the fullbacks. You
Yes.
know, once you play three at the back,
Yes.
and you have somebody like Mane Salah, and also you have this man called Ruben Diaz. I don't know if you are watching him. Diaz. Diaz is becoming more little every now and then.
Yes.
He has played 2 games, 2 goals, and an assist. And it's a Premier League. Adapting a Premier League game is not easy. You can see in terms of Nicolas Pepe, you can see in terms of Aubameyang, they came into Premier League but they didn't adapt as quick as Diaz.
Yeah.
Diaz has just played 2 games and is adapting every now and then. Game with Chelsea, it will be a big game for him. And I tend to see he wants to show that impact. He wants to bring that impact to the club. And I tend to see they'll punish a lot of spaces because he turns, he uses those small spaces. He's good on the ball. Shooting skills is perfect.
After the arrival of Diaz, what is the fate of Matip and Joe Gomez?
I think
Because initially it was said that Van Dijk Gomez partnership was world class, but Gomez is got injured and he's been on the sideline for quite some time.
I think the competition spices up everything because in Liverpool, when you apart from Van Dijk, you find that any other defender who has gotten injured, when you come back,
Your position is taken.
is gone.
And that is beauty.
You see the same
Yeah, that's-
applies to the attack. Everybody, I included, thought that when Mane and Salah will go for African Cup of Nations, Liverpool are going to suffer. Jota rose up to the occasion,
Yeah.
and Jota did the job. So I think credit to the manager. Credit to Klopp for being able to plan for that and also refresh his squad from time to time. He brings in only one player who makes a change. He brought in Diaz, he's made a change. He brought in Jota at that particular moment, he's brought a change. So it will be interesting.
It will be interesting indeed. Of course, we're looking forward to a sporting weekend full of fixtures internationally. European leagues, of course, continue tomorrow. Pulsating clash, Carabao Cup final, beating Chelsea against City. How will that go? Of course, keep talking to us. #touchline Y254. We're coming to an end of the show, but the conversation continues online on our social media platforms at Y254 channel, at Wasike Maxwell, at Oso Roberts. Of course, it's been a pleasure having you gentlemen to come through and put things into perspective and give your punditry analysis of what is expected to happen in various fixtures coming up. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, to our team that has made this happen, led by Jeffrey, our director, and Fadhili Athmani, our producer, alongside Janet on the gallery, and working behind the scenes and working hard, and our camera lady and the gentleman. Of course, it's been a pleasure working with them. Let's meet next time, same place. Have a good afternoon, and remember, COVID-19 is still with us. Keep washing your hands and sanitizing and, observing containment measures put in place by the government. Always a pleasure. Good luck. God bless.